Challenge. I hope you guys are doing fantastic on this Wednesday afternoon. Hope you guys are safe if you're any part of the southern part of the states that has been ransacked. Our prayers are with you. Listen, guys, we are on day 3 of Your Message Matters Challenge. But hey, if this is your first day, you are in the right spot still. We are creating content each and every day that stands on its own. And we are so excited about today's specific topic all around your product suite. If you are starting a business, you need something to sell. If you'll have momentum, or if you're scaling your business, you need more products and services to get out to other markets or to your same market to expand your reach and to get your message out there to a greater level and increase your impact and income. So, hey, if this is your first time, go ahead and type in the chat, new, #new. And if you are, tell us where you're coming from today as well. And if you're catching the replay, type in the chat, #replay. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get into our typical announcements and make sure that you guys are connected with what Your Message Matters is all about, of course, as well. So let's go ahead and get this show on the road. All right, so Your Message Matters is 7 days to transform your message, increase your impact and income, and grow your business. Today is all about turning your message into a product, just like I was saying earlier. Now, a few quick announcements. Make sure to check the announcement section for replays. Day 2 is going to be up until this Friday, because if you saw yesterday's live, we have a contest going on where you're going to send a 2-minute video of you sharing your story, your message out to the world, and we're going to comment on that. Pat Quinn, our main Signature Talk coach, is going to be looking at all of your stories and grading them, and we have some amazing prizes that we're going to be giving out on Sunday around that. So we're giving you until Friday for that specific homework or challenge, really. So make sure to check out that replay. It's in the announcement section of the Facebook group. Make sure to follow Pete, Pat, and myself, of course, as always, when we're going live. So you can see I'm live right now for these main lives that we're doing every day. And we're also doing some Ask Me Anythings in the mornings. Pat Quinn just brought down the house twice in the past 24 hours, both at night and in the morning. So you guys don't want to be missing that. And the best way to do that is to follow us on our Facebook profiles. Make sure, of course, to add to your calendar, if you haven't already, to attend these daily lives at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And of course, like I said before, there is a chance to win hundreds and thousands of dollars worth of prizes. I've got some great prizes that we're giving away today from yesterday for people that took action fast on their message. I've seen a lot of you share your messages already, so congratulations. We are going to be announcing those winners, of course, at the end. And hey, guys, this is going to be the last time that I say this. Make sure to join us backstage if you haven't, because this is where really a lot of the value is happening. Because after the topic, we are able to put people in hot seats in 4 different breakout rooms, and it's just been phenomenal. I know guys in the chat in Zoom, love to see you all. Let us know how Backstage has impacted you, and post it in the Facebook group with #Backstage. We'd love to hear how Backstage has impacted you over the past couple of days. All right, now, I already said prize winners are going to be asked in the end, so I'm going to go ahead and get things over to our first trainer of the day. You guys know him. You guys were introduced to him yesterday. He is the secret weapon of Advance Your Reach, with the content, the clarity, with the communication, just all around, really. So, Pat Quinn, are you in the house, sir? Well, looks like we might not have Pat just right now. There we go. I see that Pat wasn't able to.
Hey, now I can unmute myself.
Now you're good. Now you're good. Okay.
All right. Hey, everybody. I'm thrilled to be here, and I'm excited about Wednesday, excited about day 3. I was staying up all night watching your videos in the Facebook group, and so this has been an amazing 2 days so far. And I'm excited about day 3 because today we are all about your scaling offer, and we are excited to help you show how we can turn your dream into a reality, how we can turn a good idea into a really good business. And so I'm Pat Quinn, and we are back on Wednesday today. I want to just recap a little bit about what we've been doing the last 2 days and then tell you about what's going to happen today. And so on Monday, we were all about finding clarity on 2 big questions. Who is the audience that you serve, and what is the problem that you solve for them? Why do you need clarity on these 2 questions? You need clarity on these 2 questions because this is going to determine everything else that we do the rest of the week. You can't have a business that serves every living human being in the world in the beginning. Now, you might get there eventually, but in the beginning, you have to have a much tighter audience, a much more niche audience. And I want to make sure that you also know the problem that you're solving for your audience. The problem that you solve for your audience is extremely important because nobody sits around waiting for services. Nobody sits around waiting for your program or your system. People sit around with problems. And if you can communicate in the language of the consumer, in the language of the customer, what is the problem you're actually solving for them? And they're nodding their head saying, I have that problem. That would work for me. That's the key to having a great message. I know that you have a message in you that needs to get out to the world. It may be different than the job that you're doing right now. It may be different than what you do for work, but you've got something burning inside you that needs to come out. You have a purpose that you were given in life. All of the experiences, all of the stories that you've been given, all of the bumps in your road have been there for a reason, to help others who struggle in a similar way. And I want to help you this week get that message out to the world. And so on Tuesday, we were all about the story that you tell, because we know when told correctly, your story is the single greatest marketing tool that you'll have. It is the attractor of new clients, new people, new team members, new people who are your champions, who want to go out there and help you spread the message. But you have to be able to tell your story in an effective way. Yesterday is my favorite day because I got to share with you a simple way to tell any story and all of the tools that I have to help you share your story in the most effective way. I've been fortunate enough over the last few years to be able to work with some of the greatest speakers in the world, from Tony Robbins and Pete Vargas to Eric Worre and Grant Cardone and Michael Hyatt and Damon John. But here's what I know. You don't have to have a New York Times best-selling book. You don't have to be on network television to get your message out to the world. Most of the people that I work with every single day are not professional speakers. They wouldn't even consider themselves speakers. They are business owners, people with a good idea, a good cause, a good message, who want to start a movement, who want to be on a mission to change the world and help the lives of others. And being able to tell your story is an important part of that. And so we challenged you yesterday to post your 2-minute video on the Facebook page. And I have watched a lot of them. They're amazing. They aren't perfect. If you're waiting for yours to be perfect before you post it, stop waiting and just post it, because the ones that are up there now are not perfect, and I love them. Everybody who posted their video in the last 24 hours is a winner. Why? Because you said no to your fear and yes to your future. Because you got your message out to a huge Facebook audience that is watching those videos all the time. You met the deadline and you threw your hat into the ring and said, I don't care if I'm scared. I don't care if I don't like the way I look on video. I don't care if there's a little voice on my shoulder saying nobody wants to hear this or this is too ordinary. I'm going to do it anyway. So I love the fact that you posted your video. And if you didn't get your video done, I know there's weather and crazy things happening over half this country, power outages and weather. Hey, don't you worry. Post it tonight. Post it this afternoon. Post it tonight. Post it tomorrow morning. I just want to see your video. I want you to say no to your fear, no to excuses, no to everything else, and say yes to this message. Yes to the people you can help. Yes to your future. And post that 2-minute video, and I'll watch it. Even if it's a little bit past the deadline, don't you worry. I will watch your video, and I will give you feedback. Every single one of you who post your video on the Your Message Matter Facebook page using the hashtag YourMessageDay2. You have to use the hashtag YourMessageDay2, even though it's day 3 today. If you want me to watch your video, you got to go under Your Message Day 2. I will watch your video, and I will give you personal feedback on your video just for you. Well, today is a big day because today is the day we talk about products. Now, I don't want you to be a salesperson. I don't want you to feel slimy or salesy. And I'm going to show you on Sunday how to give your presentation and tell your story without being salesy. But we do want you to have products and services to sell. We call that your scaling offer. And they are so important. 10 years ago, I thought I had a really successful business. I had a really successful business. I was one of the best known speakers, one of the most popular speakers, training teachers in the entire country. I was being paid $6,000 for a 1-hour keynote every time I spoke. Now, I grew up in the cornfields of Wisconsin in a rural small town in a small house with a family of 5. My first job was breaking the tassels off of sweet corn in the cornfields all summer. I got paid $1.85 an hour to break the tassels off of sweet corn in the cornfields on 100-degree days all throughout July and August. If you would have told me when I was making $1.85 an hour that I would be paid $6,000 for a 1-hour keynote presentation, I would have told you that you were crazy. But here I was on top of the education world as one of the highest paid speakers in education. Well, there was a problem though. The problem was that I was gone from my family for over 100 nights a year. I had 2 young kids and a marriage, and it was really hard on my relationship with my kids and on my marriage. If I wanted to make more money, I actually had to be gone more. And that's a huge problem. And I thought that was the limit. I didn't have a solution to that problem. And then I met Pete Vargas. Pete Vargas talked to me. I remember the first night he sat me down in that sports bar and he said, "What are you?" I said, "I'm a speaker." He said, "You're not a speaker. What's the problem that you're solving?" And I told him the problem that I was solving, and he shared with me, he taught into me, he spoke into me and said, "You need a scaling offer. You need to understand scaling offer." A scaling offer means that you don't get paid to speak. That's not your primary source of income. Your primary source of revenue is the products and services that you sell after. And by the way, it's really hard to change someone's life in 45 minutes. But if you can use that 45 minutes to invite them into a further engagement, then you can change their life forever. And you'll change your revenue forever. And so I started thinking about my job differently. I was still getting paid to speak because I was really popular, but I wasn't thinking that that's the end game. The speaking was really an opportunity to sell products and services, and it changed everything. It changed my business completely. 2 years later, instead of being gone 150 nights a year, I had limited myself to be on the road 12 nights a year. 2 years later, instead of having no relationship with my 2 young children and a troubled relationship, an absentee relationship with my wife, I was present in my 2 daughters' lives, and our marriage was healthier than ever. And my income went up tenfold. All because I understood the concept that Pete Vargas is going to teach to us today. And so I want you to show some love. I want you to show some gratitude, and I want you to show some excitement about scaling offers and about the person who's going to walk us through the scaling offer and teach us what he taught me that changed my life forever. Can you guys give some love to Mr. Pete Vargas? Pete, this changed my life. I know it's going to change other people's lives. I love this, and I can't wait to learn from you again today.
Hey, everybody. How are you guys doing? Everybody good? Listen, I can see backstage. I can see Facebook right here. Well, I can see backstage. I can see Facebook. I see you, Facebook. I see you, Jan. I need to probably unmute myself here as well. And so, hey, Clubhouse, I can't see you. I can see Violet. I can see Mary Ellen, Julia, Eric, Juliet, Patty. Who's there on Facebook? Who's there backstage? Let me see you guys. Let me see you. I can see you, Dr. Doomy. I can see you, Linda and Judy and Hondo and Jasper and Tanya and Gloria, Samia, Toy Lynn. I see Deborah Scott. I see Lisa Johnson. I see Deborah Monfett, Beverly Walsh, Alan Powell. Let me ask you a question. Who submitted their video? If you're like, I submitted it, put the word submit in the chat. I want to know you submitted it. If you're gonna submit it. Put the word going to submit. If you submitted it, I want to know that you submitted it. If you're going to, I want to know you're going to. Facebook, let me see that. Backstage, let me see that. Jed, I don't know how many people submitted back in October. Jed, do you know the answer to that? How many people submitted back in October?
It was 500.
That's it? 500? Dude, Pat, was that it really? 500 PQ?
I think it was about that. Yeah, maybe a little more than that, but I hope we're gonna smash that with this group.
I thought we hit like over 300 yesterday. I thought I saw over 300. I could be wrong. I'm going for 1,000, guys. Like, I want 1,000 this time. I want 1,000 of you submitting videos because listen, you're getting feedback from Pat Quinn. He's going to be coaching you. Anybody who wants to hire Pat Quinn for a day, one day, $25,000, $30,000. Anybody that wants to go to a workshop with Pat Quinn, it's $10,000, $9,800 to be exact. And then you also get coached by Pat Quinn. Every single one of you are going to get feedback and insights, but you have to, if you ask the question, I'm not seeing feedback by the end of this weekend, it's because you didn't follow instructions. You didn't put the right hashtag. We click the right hashtag. Some of them, Jed, are putting your message matters challenge. No, we're not going to be able to see that. Jed, one more time, what does the hashtag need to be exactly, Jed? And if any of you see somebody put the hashtag wrong, please tell them. Jed, I've seen 9 or 10 different types of hashtags on there. What does the hashtag need to be?
Yeah, so guys, it needs to be hashtag your message day 2, the number 2, your message day 2.
Jed, I've seen your message day 2. I like with the word N. I've seen your message matters day 2. I've seen message day 2. Like, guys, you have to look in the chat. Your message day 2. Hey, Team AYR, if you see anybody that's posted it wrong, please let them know so they can edit it. Would you guys also let people know if they put it wrong so that they can edit it? Because if you will put your story out into the world like I did 5 years ago, your life will never be the same. Your life will never be the same. I can promise you that. And so you're getting coaching from Pat. Sunday night, we're going to be announcing a lot of winners. A lot of winners. A lot of winners. So listen, I want to show you where we're at. There's this thing that you guys have been hearing about called stage to scale. First off, when I say this as stage, the world is a stage. So do not have misconceptions on what the word stage means. The world is a stage. And I'm letting you know this. And this is actually putting my team here on notice too. Jed, what I've come to realize is the stage to scale methodology, Jed, really, although we've said it's 3 parts, the reality is it's actually 4 parts, Jed. And this is the first time. There are 2 things I am teaching today that nobody in the history of our company, not one of the tens of thousands of customers that have preceded today, have heard what I'm about to teach. And it will absolutely be profound for those that are starting their business, trying to gain momentum in their business, or try to scale their business. Because if you've been around my community, what you're about to hear is something that you will have heard from no other teacher in the world, no other thought leader in the world today. And there's 2 things I'm teaching differently today. The first part is the fact that there's 4 parts to the stage to scale methodology. We've just so happened to call this first part the foundation part. And Pat talked about it. It's getting clarity on the problem you solve and who you serve. And we talked about that on Monday. And then day 2, we talked about the power of your story / what we call your signature talk. This is the greatest marketing tool that you have in your business. This is something you will use everywhere, every day, every type of stage, one-on-one, one-to-many, online, offline, sales pages, everywhere. This is what we talked about yesterday. If this is the greatest marketing tool, shouldn't we have a homework assignment that makes sure that everybody puts their greatest marketing tool out there? And is it not crazy? Does anybody think it's crazy that 500 people in October got coaching from Pat Quinn? Does anybody not think that's crazy? Because all of my partners who are supporting me in this launch, who is it that you heard about us from? Who did you hear about us from? In the comments on Facebook. Remember, I can see Facebook. I can see both of you. Who did you hear about us from? They think it's crazy that we're giving some feedback and insight to everyone who submits it. And my goal is 1,000 of you to submit it. 1,000. That's my goal. I don't think we've ever had 1,000, Jed. Pat's like, ooh, Pete, let's stick to the 500s. Be quiet there. That's the second part, which is why this matters. This is the third part. How do you actually scale? And that's what we're going to be talking about today. And then there is the fourth part, which is, what are all the stages that exist for me and which ones make sense for you? The ones that make sense for me are different than the ones that make sense for my wife. Extrovert, introvert, but that is the fourth part that we're going to be talking about on day 4 and day 5. And then you guys are going to get a little bonus. I'm excited because I heard my good friend Dean Graziosi is going to be showing up in the next few days. I heard my buddy Pedro Adeo is going to be showing up in the next few days. Many of you are afraid of Sam, and I want you to fall in love with Sam. For anybody that's been a part of my world, who is Sam? Who is Sam? Who is Sam backstage? Come on now, let's go. Let's go. Sales and marketing. Sales and marketing. Day 6 is a day that I just got prepared for this morning. And you guys, it's going to be out of this world. Day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, and day 5, and day 6. It's one thing to know your message. It's another thing to communicate your message. It's another thing to have products and services around your message. But right here is where people miss it. They don't, below that line is the reason why they don't get their message out to the world, because they don't understand how to do those things that we're going to be teaching on day 4 and day 5 and day 6. So today is about day 3. And scaling past the stage, I have a definition of what scale means. But today we're going to be talking about, you're like, Pete, we have it. And guys, if we can bring it on my screen here. See if we get that coming up here. Is it up? Are we up? Okay, cool. It's funny because we can bring Backstage back up here. Facebook, you're a little bit delayed for me. That's funny. But scaling beyond the stage. Here's what I want you to know about scale. I'm about to teach you what I feel like scaling beyond the stage is. A lot of you that know me know this acronym right here. You know that you've got to create a product suite. You got to collect people's information, and you got to convert people to going deeper in your product suite. And yes, today we're going to talk about creating your perfect product suite. You're going to have the opportunity to choose one of 16 different products. And no, you're not going to choose 5 or 10. You're going to choose one. Michelle's like, 16? I haven't heard you talk about that. Team AYR is like, 16? I haven't heard you talk about that. Like, what are you talking about, 16? Pat Quinn knows what I'm talking about. And so this is the traditional framework of what we've shown as scaling past the stage. Why do I want you to scale past the stage? This is why. I have said this quote for many, many years. I've never changed someone's life with a speaking gig, but sometimes I do a speaking gig and they buy my products. And if they buy my products, I'm subbing out cassettes. If they buy my programs, if they buy whatever, I have a shot at changing their lives. I read an email 2 years ago, and Tom Ziegler, you guys heard me talk about this backstage. Tom Ziegler's son said, Pete Vargas reminds me of my dad. He's one of the few people I've ever met in my life that remind me of my dad. Do you know the goosebumps that brought me, Linda Slater? Like, that brought me goosebumps. Linda sees the power of that comment. And so I wanted to get on the phone with Tom. And I was like, Tom, why? Like, I say this quote all the time, and I just want you to know that I share this quote all the time to honor your dad. And he said, Pete, do you want to know where this quote came from? I said, yes. He goes, do you want to know the story behind this quote? Who would have said yes in that moment? Yes, Zig, or yes, Tom. Yes, Tom. Like, would you have said yes? Yes, 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 yes. Yes, Tom. And Tom said, my dad was curious, and I hope you all can hear this. This is direct right here, right? My dad was curious. Was it his speaking and sharing the story that was making an impact on people's lives? Like, what was really changing his customers' lives? And so he had his secretary get 100 written testimonials. Like, people would write their stories and send them into the Zig Ziglar company. This is his son telling me this. And he said, she put 99 in this pile and she put 1 in this pile. And the 1 in this pile, he read it and it said, Zig, I heard you on a stage. You spoke and it changed my life. And then these 99 that he read, one after the other. Zig, I heard you share your message. I bought your programs. I bought your cassettes. I bought your seminars. I bought your products. And your products transformed my life. 99 of them had the common theme that it wasn't him sharing his message. That was the catalytic moment for the person on the other end. It was his products and services that changed their lives. Part 1 is being able to share your message powerfully, because if you aren't able to do that, you're not going to have the catalytic moment. But once that catalytic moment happens, now you got a moral responsibility. That comes from Tom Ziegler's mouth. He said, you tell everybody you talk to, you have a moral responsibility to get their message out to the world, more than just their words, but also through their product. And so when I wear, we're gonna have to figure out the mic situation. So when I wear this shirt right here, yeah, you guys remember me calling out my team on Tuesday and saying, hey, is there any way to make this happen? Is there any way to make this happen? Like, and all of a sudden, Ryan brings me a couple of t-shirts this day and says, yes, there's a way to make this happen. I know I got another one somewhere right here. Of course, there's a way to make this happen. We got plenty of them. How about I give out hundreds of them throughout the course of the rest of the week? Everybody cool with that? Everybody cool with that? Because this is what this represents to me. It represents that my message matters. So if you get one of these in the mail in the next week or two, receive it as though your message matters, but then wear it for the people that you walk by every day to remind them that their message matters. Receive it for yourself and wear it for others. Today, I wear this for you because I know my message matters. And so today I want to talk about that Zig quote. But before I do that, I'm going to give you guys a little bonus today. I'm going to give you a little bonus. I'm going to tell you one of the reasons why entrepreneurs never get their message out to the world. You want to know one of the top reasons why entrepreneurs never get their message out to the world? Here you go. This has nothing to do with my teachings. This was off the cuff today that I feel like all of you need to hear this. They do not have this. First person to guess what that is gets a t-shirt backstage. Downtime. Yes, Greg, that's not it. But I like it. I like it. Anybody in my world should know this. Determination, desire. Facebook, what do you got? Dream. Uh-oh, we're getting warm. We're getting warm. We're getting warm. Somebody tell me somebody got it, not dream time. Not dream time, it's close. Dream team, whoever said it, they don't have a dream team. And guess what? A team starts one person at a time. So today, I have a dream team. I have 50 people on my dream team, but it started with me outsourcing my first person because I didn't know how to manage my customers. I didn't know how to do my technology. I didn't know how to set up these cameras here in my garage. I didn't know how to coach people like Pat Quinn coach people. So I had to go get a dream team. It was a dream team member who pulled this off, not me. And a lot of you are trying to be the Lone Rangers, trying to do it on your own. And what I'm telling you is that you can hire people one person at a time. You could hire someone today for $50 a month, $100 a month to handle all of your technology. All of your technology. Overseas, set up your Zoom rooms, run your own events, and be able to do that. And so what I want you to know, you want to know one of the greatest ways to scale? One of the greatest ways to scale is to have a dream team. One of the greatest ways to scale your message is to begin to build your dream team one person at a time. Stop living outside your genius. Outsource it or hire it. You can hire people overseas for $3 or $4. I'm going to do maybe some bonus training next week on Dream Team if you're cool with that. You can outsource things for tens, dozens of dollars. You can bring something like into your own home for hundreds of dollars. So why would you try to do this thing on your own if your message really matters? A couple of years ago, I almost gave up on my dream team because I was not I just didn't know how to lead a team. And I told my wife, I'm going to go do this on my own. And she said, Pete, you don't feel like you're just going to quit or stop? Like, you don't know how to set up tech. You don't know how to send an email out from Infusionsoft. You don't know how to build a lead magnet. You don't know how to build those things. Like, it takes a team. And so, guys, I hear somebody on. Please keep them muted. Please stay muted backstage. Stay muted back. It takes a team. And so I got on a site called Upwork. And I saw this girl in Colorado that I thought she was in Colorado. She fit the description to help me with something that was a pain point in my business. Her hourly rate aligned with me. It was like, yes, I want her. I called her. You're not supposed to call her. You're supposed to submit a request. I asked her, hey, I saw you online. Will you come meet me a few hours away because I want to hire you? She got a little bit freaked out about that. She's like, who's this weirdo calling me? Like, nobody else calls me. She said, we met in a public place, like a restaurant. She didn't know who the guy was on the other end. She said she stalked me like crazy. And in that process of doing that, I hired her. I outsourced her for like 10 hours a week. And then her role began to grow. And now you fast forward 4 years and she's the second person in charge. She runs the day-to-day operations of our company. But that's because I didn't try to do this thing on my own. And so today, before the next 25 minutes, I talk about the perfect product suite and help you understand the perfect product suite and really making sure that behind your message, you actually have a product. I want to honor our dream team today. And so team, if we can bring them up where I can see them on the screen, I think we're going to highlight them. I'm going to ask you guys to give a lot of love to this dream team because this thing is not possible. You don't have the workbook you do. You don't have the experience you do. You don't have any of the stuff that you do without this dream team. And so I see Jess up there, who is the young lady that I just talked about. I see Amber. I see Elena. I see Shelia from our marketing department. I see Ryan, who's back here running the event. I see Miranda, who serves our customers so powerfully. Wow, they just gave me a different view. I see Blair, who's booking stages for all of our in our agency, is helping put people on. They're approaching 1,000 stages that they put our customers on in the last year and a half. I see Emily, who's part of hiring our dream team. I see Kat, who got me this shirt in less than 2 days. Come on. Like, how cool is that? I see Julie, who is the one who oversaw like the marketing and the ads and the emails that you guys are receiving. Guys, can we screen? Can we keep going? I see Claire, who's answering all of those crazy customer service questions like, hey, what Facebook group do I go to? And how do I watch the replay? And why can't I get backstage? Well, because the email went into your junk box. I'm just teasing a little bit, but for some of you got to check your junk box first. Like I see, and I'm sorry, I can't see everybody, guys, but I see this team and what you're experiencing here. My coach today said, like, listen, you're serving probably at the end of this challenge, we'll serve 20 or 25,000 people. I see Gabby. I see Ray, I see Ray there. I see Kayla there. I can't see everybody. So team, who I'm missing, it's because of my views are a little bit weird here. But like what I want you guys to know is that this does not exist without this team. And for a lot of you, you're not going to get your message out to the world on a bigger scale unless you start focusing on your dream team one person at a time. You cannot scale your message to the place that you want to scale it and impact people like Zig impacted people if you don't have a dream team around you. You just can't. And what would be dangerous for you to do, Jed, who runs our customer experience right here, who is a huge part of this, Pat Quinn, who has been with us longest, Jess is the second longest. I know Daniel's somewhere on here. Like, guys, it's pretty crazy. And what you could do is you could find a mistake in saying, yeah, I could never have all of Pete's team. Like, that's not where I'm at in my business today. And actually, I'm gonna correct that today because some of you are gonna have my team, like all of them. So we'll look at that later in the week. Who wants to leverage my team? Who wants to leverage all of my team? Anybody on Facebook or Zoom want to be able to leverage all of my team? Anybody? Like, there's 3 of you waving at me. Like, are you loco? Are you crazy? Simon says, I do. But the mistake that you could make, Shelly Lee, is this Leaf. I see Leaf there. This. That all started with one person who could support me in something that I wasn't great at. And so, guys, you want to scale your business? Make sure you have people supporting you and getting your message out to the world. So there we go. We're going to be giving out a lot of these. Who's excited about this? Who's excited about receiving these in the mail? We already gave out one. I'm wearing the first one. Thank you, Kat. I'm going to dive in today. That's part 1 of the training. If you didn't hear the training in that, you missed it. But Zig said, man, it's my products. It's my services that are changing people's lives. And so this is what I want to tell you today. Now to the actual advance your reach stage to scale framework for scaling, although Dream Team was the bonus. Today, we're going to be talking about creating your product suite. On Sunday, I'm going to be talking about how you collect people's information and how you follow up with people to become customers. But today, It is so big that it's focused just on this domain right here. That's the main domain that I want to focus on today in the remainder of our time before we go backstage. And Clubhouse, I know you can't see me and I know you can't see my whiteboard, but I hope that you will go to messagechallenge.com/Clubhouse so that you can actually get the workbook, free workbook there, that you'll be able to see everything. So here's where we're going to arrive today. Uh-oh, getting close here, Ryan. So we might need to be ready. This might get me through today, but we might need to be ready. So there's this thing that many of you have heard me talk about called the perfect, look at that, I made that wrong, product suite. And I'm going to come back to this in a minute. And some of you have heard me talk about this. So this isn't the new teaching. I'm about to get to the new teaching. And my goal is for everybody in here by the end of the year to have a low ticket, a mid ticket, and a high ticket product or service that can impact people's lives. Low ticket meaning this is the place where it's kind of low priced. This is medium priced. And this is high priced. That is my goal. And team, anytime we hear anything on backstage, please, guys backstage, please make sure you're keeping yourselves muted. And so we're going to arrive at the perfect product suite. But you have to know what you want to do in the perfect product suite. You have to make a decision. This is what I want to do. Don't have Pete tell you what to do. Some of you might want a membership site. Some of you might not. Some of you might want a coach. Some of you might not. Some of you might want to have a speaking team. Others might not. Some of you might want to do done-for-you services. Others of you might not. For me, which is what most experts do to force you in telling you the product or service that you should want, is forcing something upon you. I want you to choose today. I want you to choose today. I want you to not just make a decision of what 3 are going to go into here by the end of 2021, but what is the first one that I'm going to focus on during this challenge. And so here's what I'd like to share with you guys today. I don't know how I'm going to draw this because this is the first time I've drawn this. But I'm going to try to figure it out right now. There are some of you today in the start bucket. There's some of you today in the momentum bucket. And there are some of you today that are really trying to scale to the next level. Your business is cranky. And I'm going to tell you, based on Pat Quinn's insights and my insights, what I feel and what we feel are 16 different products and services that you can choose from. And for the first time ever, we're actually bucketing them into these buckets. Now, here's another mistake, Vicky, that you would do, is you would just say, like, if something's in the momentum, but you're in the start, if you feel called to it, this is not the gospel. This is just our recommendations. This is not a gospel. This is our recommendations. And so I'm going to go through 16 different products in about 10 minutes that I believe will help you. And I'm still hearing something in here that I believe will help you make a determination of what you either need to create, make better, or even some of you add to if you're in momentum or you're in the momentum. Like if you're in the start bucket, you got to choose one today. You got to choose one today. You can pick your 3, but you got to decide on getting one built. If you're in the momentum bucket, you either need to get rid of something because it's not working, perfect something because it's kind of working, but you got to make it better, or add something. or add something. That's what you got to do in the momentum bucket. If you're in the scale bucket, you got to make sure you have no gaps, and you got to double down on the things that are working. You got to double down on the things that are working. That's what you have to do. And so let's get into this. In the start bucket, I'm going to start with what we feel are the three, and we're going to go 6, 5, 5. The three that we believe a lot of people who come into our community find to be the ones they want the most of. Coaching. Coaching. A lot of people want to coach around health, around life, around business. This is an intimate coaching relationship. I meet with my coach every week, Wednesday from 9:15 to 11 a.m. weekly. He knows me as good as probably my wife, or very close to it. He knows everything about me. He sees my blind spots. He's very involved in my business, my personal life, and he helps make me better. And he works with some of the biggest and best businesses that exist out there, and he's a phenomenal human being. Coaching can be done in a one-to-one or a one-to-many, which is also called group coaching. And coaching, you get paid more for one-to-one, you get paid less for one-to-many. Depending on the industry or the niche, depends on the pricing of these. I mean, I know people that spend $250,000 a year to get coached one-on-one. I also know people that coach pastors for $10,000 a year one-on-one. I know people who coach parents or other couples for $1,000 a month one-on-one. Like it varies. But I also know a lot of people who coach one-to-many, which is also called group coaching. You want to get to this point because that's where your power becomes. You can serve more people here. You can serve people deeper here. The second thing that's a great place to start in the start bucket is digital products. I'm actually going to call it a digital course that you sell as a one-time purchase. There's no continuity to it at all. You sell it, it's done. If it has ROI or financial implications to it, I've seen digital courses sold for $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. I've seen them sold as high as $10,000, not normal. $3,000 to $4,000 seems to be a pretty sweet spot. If it's relationship or time management or goal setting, I've seen them sold for $500 to $1,000. If it's health and wellness or that, I've seen it sold from $100 to $500. You can have a low ticket, a mid ticket, a high ticket level course, but digital courses are the second bucket of products that I believe exists in the start bucket. The third bucket that I think exists, and this is a popular one, is we call it a service-based business. So all of our marketing agencies, our Facebook ads agencies, our technology agencies, our financial advisors, or we also like to call this done for you services. This is hot right now. People want something done for them and they will pay a premium. And I believe that if more people in the start bucket, like our student Adrienne Richardson did, she didn't start by running Facebook ads. She runs all of our ads. She's worked with Pat Quinn one-on-one. She didn't start by running ads. She started by just doing something for anybody. She would write an email. She would build the website. She would create a funnel. She would just do it for people because people don't want to do things. Human beings are fill in the blank for a shirt backstage. Come on, lazy. Yes, that's a shirt. You got you a Your Message Matters shirt. They're lazy. Why don't you could get this up and running tomorrow. You can't get this up and running tomorrow, Pat. You can get this up and running tomorrow. That's the third one. Man, I'm going to have a hard time filling in the blanks here. The fourth one, and we'll talk more about this on Friday, is your own events. Now, here's the one thing I want you to know about your own events. You can charge for your own events. And there's low ticket events. I gotta do this somewhere. Where can I do this? There's low ticket events. I don't want to use my paper here. I'm going to use this because this is really important. Actually, I'm going to talk about it on Friday. There's low ticket events, there's mid ticket events, and there's high ticket events. There's low ticket, mid ticket, high ticket. You can buy an event for a ticket for $100 or $200. And it's one to a lot of people, and you learn a lot of stuff. Just know that low ticket means learn. You learn. Low ticket equals learning. Low ticket also means a to-do list. Mid ticket means that you're probably going to build out some type of game plan. Mid-ticket, you're building out some type of game plan. And a high-ticket event, you're getting something done. You're getting something done, like done, finished, executed, which means fewer people typically in those. I'll talk more about the 3 different levels of your own event on Friday. Low ticket, mid-ticket, high ticket. The fifth thing is, I believe, and I started here in college, is a network marketing business. And I want to tell you what, if you don't really, there are people who have given the industry a bad name. I'm going to tell you what, this industry got me through college. This industry got me through college. Because I didn't, here's the power of this industry. I'm just going to speak it out loud. You don't have to build your products or services. You don't have to do your own customer service. You don't have to build the technology, the fulfillment, or all of that. You just got to find somebody who has an integrable product, a great product. That's the power of this industry, is it's already built in. Grant Cardone said, you put me in a town in a solid network marketing business, I can go to 0 to millionaire right away because I don't have to build all of the infrastructure because the infrastructure is already built. A lot of people, that's not a bad place to start. I'm not in a network marketing company, but I believe that is a place that some people might need to start. And then the sixth one is fundraising. We believe nonprofits, real estate investors, as they get on more stages, that they can raise the funds that they want quickly through fundraising. So this is not just for nonprofits, this is for for-profits. But if you can put together fundraising programs that appeal to somebody after you're done speaking. Scott Harrison did this so well with Charity Water. Every time he spoke about his message, people wanted to donate a water well. That's because he knew how to do it. He's not a student of ours, but he understood the stage to scale methodology. These are great places to be if you're trying to get started. Let me talk about the last few here. Let's go into the momentum bucket, which is product number 7. Membership sites. Membership sites. This is ongoing continuity programs. I know that a lot of people might say, or some people might say, it's a great starting point. I believe it's a great point to build momentum. You want to know why you don't have momentum is because you don't have reoccurring income. I have 4 product suites today that are reoccurring. And I didn't do it in the start bucket. I did it in the momentum bucket. And I moved it to the scale bucket. It even moves with you and up levels with you. So membership sites, continuity sites are a great one. Masterminds are a great one. If you've been around in our community, you know I used to loop masterminds and coaching together. I can't anymore. In integrity, I can't anymore. Because somebody that's just getting started doesn't necessarily have the credibility to do a mastermind. A mastermind is not coaching. A mastermind is a premium group that you get together, and either they see you as the mastermind in the room, so they're paying a premium to come mastermind with you 1 time, 2 times, 3 times a year. It used to be that masterminds would be 2 to 4 times a year in person, and maybe 1 digital time a month. And it's either that you're the mastermind, or you've collected a bunch of masterminds who are paying, so people want to be a part of that mastermind. I just believe it makes more sense in the momentum bucket, because now or in the scale bucket. So these can also be what you do in the scale as well. So masterminds are powerful. They're very powerful. The 9th one and the 3rd one in this bucket is what I call affiliate marketing. Affiliate marketing is simply, hey, I don't have any products and services. I don't necessarily want to be in a network marketing company, because that means you're representing that one company's products. I'm going to go do affiliate marketing, and I'm going to represent other people's products because I believe in their products. Do you realize that affiliate marketers can get paid 40, 50, 60, 70, 80% of the sale by referring it to their family and friends? And they could promote one day, like last year, we promoted Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi's product. We also are promoting one of my friends, Pedro Deo's products. We actually are an affiliate. We get paid a commission. So you guys who talk so good about other people and have a lot of relationships, affiliate marketing is a great way to add to your revenue source. 10. And the one that we're probably most excited about today is training and consulting. Training and consulting. People will pay you for 1 day of training, and they'll pay you for ongoing consulting. Pat Quinn and I get paid $30,000 to $40,000 for 1 training day. We call it a VIP day. I started at $5,000 a day. Pat Quinn and I both get paid 6 figures for consulting. And we actually had 2 clients last year that paid us 7 figures for consulting. I love training and consulting, man. This is different than coaching. This is extremely intimate. This is more strategic. This is more ongoing and intimate. This is more strategic. 11 is, last one is what we call revenue share. It's just a fancy word for commission. Hey, if you know you can go get somebody a result that they cannot get by themselves, and you can say, I just want to be compensated a rev share by helping you get the result that I'm promising you, people will pay you a percentage or a rev share. How do I know? We did several of them last year. Instead of charging maybe $250,000 for consulting, we lined up a revenue share deal because we knew the result that we could get somebody. And I won't even begin to tell you what this has helped us create to create scale in our business and momentum in our business when our business was stuck last year. Our business was stuck, and this helped us create it at a different level. This almost could move into this bucket, almost move into this bucket. And then for those of you that are in the scale, and I'll bring this full circle here, is you have the opportunity as you move into the scale where people will sponsor your stuff. They'll sponsor your products. They'll sponsor your events. They'll sponsor email blasts. They'll sponsor your podcast. They'll sponsor things. There are people that get paid 6 and 7 figures of sponsorship because they have a community that the sponsor wants to be able to get their eyeballs on that sponsor. For some of you in the scale bucket, and if you're not in the scale bucket, don't worry, you'll be there one day. Sponsorships. 13, physical products. Man, planners. Anybody have Michael Hyatt's planner? Anybody have Brendan Burchard's planner? Anybody have Rachel Hollis's planner? Anybody have some type of physical product and who has a physical product that you get every month or every quarter that comes to your house? Say me in the chat. Say me in the chat. Me in the chat. If that's you. Yeah, I know the numbers behind that. Why does it make more sense here than over here? I'm not saying you can't do a physical product to start. But when you have a big community and a big audience, a physical product makes a lot of sense. 14 is, man, Pat Quinn and I have done this with so many people. You want to know how you scale? You build a speaking team or a training team. Dean and Tony don't want to be the speakers and they don't want to be the trainers. So we've went into their company and built their speaking team and their training team. Now they don't have to deliver all of the talks, nor do they have to deliver all of the trainings. Same thing with Rachel's Challenge. We built their speaking team. So they had 50 speakers out. So one personality doesn't have to do all of the speaking and the training. It's a powerful, powerful way to scale. Got 2 more, guys. 2 more. And don't forget, the first 3 or 4 are the ones that we would say are the most popular for people who come into our community. The first 3 or 4. But I just want you to see the opportunity here. And then the second to last one is people will license your IP. You might not know this, but right now, Grant Cardone licenses my IP from me. He licensed my IP. And the 6th one, and I won't get too deep into this, but some people advocate, why don't you just buy a company to scale your business? And we just bought a company to scale our business. IP means intellectual property. Thank you for that, team. Thank you for that. Or thank you for that, people backstage. So here is this. You don't have to pick what I tell you to pick. I'm not saying you have to do a digital course. No, you don't. You get to pick what you want to pick, what you want to choose. But I'm asking you to make a decision to choose something so that you can do something with it. So Rachel's Challenge, the first client I served, we all of a sudden said, okay, what's going to be our low ticket? We're going to have a program called the Friends of Rachel, which is a group coaching program. And we're going to charge $997 for schools to be a part of the Friends of Rachel program. Awesome. And then we're going to have a training and consulting program for schools, And we're going to charge $5,000 to $10,000 for that. And then we're going to have district-wide consulting. And we're going to charge 6 figures for that. Do you want to know how we took Rachel's Challenge from $52,000 in a few short years to $7 million, impacting millions of kids? By having the perfect product suite that any school or district could afford. You look at advance your reach. I'm going to do advance your reach, and then I'm going to bring this thing full circle and give you your homework assignment. You look at advance your reach. How did we start our company 5 years ago? Forget about how did we start our company? I'm in the start bucket. I'm not trying to be, I can tell you where I'm at with the scale bucket, but you want to know how we started our company is we were like, oh, let's go build a digital course, which I don't recommend as the first start. I really don't. because it took us way too long to get it done. And we're like, let's charge $2,000 for that. And this is what I want you to see. And then I got some recommendations from some people to say, why don't you create a one-on-one program, a one-on-one coaching program, and charge $20K for it? And I was like, cool. And then there was also a group coaching component to it as well. So we did one-on-one coaching, but then every week we met as a group. So we designed this program. On Sunday, I'm going to talk about how you can splinter programs, but basically I was too scared of that. I was like, nobody's going to pay me that. So I was like, let's just do the group coaching program too here. And let's charge $10,000 for that. I think that's going to be what people can afford. And so we had our low ticket. This is when we got started. Our mid ticket. And it took us about a year to get here with all of these. And our high ticket. And Pat Quinn can tell you the story. We had 27 people come to our very first event. Not 270, not 2,700, not 27,000, 27. And 12 of them became customers. And all of them chose that. All of them. God bless Danny Brissell, who was our very first customer ever. And that is when I saw the power of the perfect product suite. I had seen it for everybody else because I had done it for everybody else. All of these aren't hypothetical. All of these 16, Pat, are what we have built for ourselves, or what most of them are what we have built for other people, starting with Rachel's challenge. These aren't hypothetical. Most people out there that talk about any of this, they've not built them from themselves. I've built all of these for us, for other people, and have generated millions of dollars in the majority of the categories of all 16 of these. But I didn't choose all of them for myself because there's some that resonate with me and some that don't. But all I needed was one good program. One good program. And 12 new customers to allow me to pursue my message full time. And so here's my ask today. And I'm going to ask you to make a commitment right now before we go backstage. And thank you. I'm a few minutes behind today. My ask today is I want you to get clear, if you're in the start bucket, on you can map out what's going to go here and what's going to go here and what's going to go here. That's cool. And you can even put a price with it. The workbook and the worksheet will put a price with it today. But what I'm really going to ask you to do is decide on the first thing that you're actually going to build and what you're going to charge for that first thing. So yeah, pick your three, fill in all of the blanks, but I want you to actually decide on the first one you're going to build and what you're going to charge for it. And here's what I'm going to ask you to do. Make a commitment. If you're in the momentum bucket, map out what your perfect product suite is. Make sure that you don't have any gaps. Put it down on paper. Put a plan down. But I want to know, if you're in the momentum, what's the next thing you're going to do? Are you about to add something new? Are you about to make something better? Like, do you have to get rid of something and add something new, or do you have to make something better? And what are you going to charge for it? And if you're in the scale bucket, what's the next thing for you? And thing is not plural, Pat, it's singular. What's the next thing for you? Yeah, make sure that you don't have any gaps. But what do you need to add? Or what do you need to double down on because it's like it's working so well in the market right now? You see, the next 3 days are all about you being able to share your message in front of your ideal customers. The next 3 days are all about being in front of your ideal customers so that you can change their lives the way that Zig Ziglar defined changing their lives. And so here's what I want. I'm asking, this homework assignment gets me so excited. What is the first or next thing that you're going to do as it pertains to your perfect product suite? And what are your goals for it in 2021? I'm going to demonstrate. I'm going to demonstrate right now. Team, you know this is actually a real goal for us in 2021. An actual real goal for us in 2021. And Clubhouse, I know you can't see everything. If you're not here with us, make sure you go to messagechallenge.com/clubhouse so you can get the workbook as well. I just listened to Pete today. I know my message matters. I'm in the start, momentum, or scale. So if I'm in the scale today, this is what I would say. I am in the scale today. I could be in the momentum sometimes too, where maybe I get stuck. But I know that my next thing is to make sure that we can work with 1,000 stage to scale students so that in 2021, we can help those 1,000 students get their messages out to 1 million people in the world. So this year, we will have 1,000 stage to scale students, and it's gonna be a $2,000 program, and we are fully committed to it as an organization. Like, that's something that I want you to put out. Now, you don't have to say 1,000. For some of you, it might be your first customer. For some of you, it might be 10. It doesn't take a lot. Doesn't take a lot for you to actually be pursuing your message on a full-time basis if you're not already. PQ, what would you want to say today before I turn it back over to Jed and we go backstage today? I know I went off a little bit on Dream Team, and that wasn't part of the equation, but Pat, you can't scale without a team, and you're part of my team, and I couldn't scale to the point that I've scaled without you. But what would you say to just sum up everything in a minute or two before we go backstage?
Oh, this is such an important step for everybody, Pete, because this is how you turn a good idea that you'll be doing an hour or two a week, but you have to have another job. This is how you turn a good idea into a business with real revenue, how it becomes something that you can do with more of your time. This is how you get from working a different job and doing this as a hobby or as a side gig to doing this full time. And we're not obsessed with money. We're not obsessed with sales and revenue, but we understand that revenue allows you to do this with more time. And we understand that revenue allows you to have a greater reach. And we also know that having these products and services, having the scaling offer, is how you really change people's lives, because all of these are longer engagements. All of these are opportunities to go deeper. All of these are opportunities to have a deeper impact than just having somebody listen to you for 45 minutes. And so from Zig Ziglar recognizing that one presentation can help someone, but the next engagement can change their life, this is exactly what we're talking about today. One presentation will draw them to one of these scaling offers. And then the scaling offer will not only change their life, it'll create revenue so you can reach and impact even more people. And so this is an important step for people. Put thought into tonight's homework. Which one is right for you? Which one is doable for you? And in 2021, how many of those do you actually want to sell? How many of those are you going to sell, and at what price? This is going to turn a dream into a reality. It's going to turn a good idea into something that can actually support your family, fund your retirement, and increase your reach and impact on other people. And so take tonight's homework assignment very seriously, because it's actually the formula, the equation to how you turn this into a business, how you turn this into a movement that's going to last way, way beyond just this week.
Yeah, Pat, I appreciate that. Guys, that's what I want you to do. Charlene here says on Facebook, I'm going to help 1,000 women internationally and nationally. Okay, I like that, but that's not enough meat on the potato or meat on the bone for me. That's not enough meat. I went and spent a day when I was in the start bucket with a guy by the name of Casey Graham. I spent $7,500 to go spend a day with him. And he said, Pete, you have a phenomenal thing here in your mid-ticket bucket. You have a phenomenal thing in your mid-ticket bucket. Like, you've got to go sell more of your 90. We now have a workshop. It's a $9,800 workshop that many of you, or a few of you, at least one of you, maybe a few of you are going to win by submitting your story. And we'll announce those on Sunday. But it's a $9,800 workshop, 2 days with Pat Quinn. And then in addition, he becomes a speech coach for you for 6 months, meaning that he reviews your speeches. It's powerful. Well, the guy told me, double down on that one thing. You could be selling 200 of these a year, Pete. And 200 of these a year is $1 million business, because at the time we were only selling them, Pat, for $5,000. Well, Pat, you know the story. We got on our first stage and we almost had 200 people get that workshop. And we knew that it was underpriced. And so now that workshop is actually a workshop that we sell for $9,800. And now this past year in 2020, we almost sold 2,000 workshops. Not quite, but we got pretty dang close. We were over 1,500, and we had a big, hairy, audacious goal to sell 2,000. When we were getting started, all we could think about was a couple of hundred. So when I say to focus on one thing, I want you to confidently tonight come talk about who you're going to impact, with what product, what price, and how many people, and what that will mean to you at the end of 2021. That's what I want you to go live in Facebook. Or you can type it if you're not ready to go live. Jed, that is their day 3 homework, Jed. But I don't want them to forget about their day 2 homework, because there's a lot at stake. But Jed, why don't you come up before we go backstage? Let everybody know what to do with their day 3 homework. And also make sure that you give some prizes out today, Jed. So Jed, we're going to be giving out a lot of shirts. Tomorrow will be a big day of shirt giving. Sunday will be a big day of shirt giving. We're going to be giving out a lot of shirts this week, Jed. I bet you're jealous of this, Jed, and I bet you want one of them as well.
Oh, you better believe it. That's for sure, Pete. So listen, guys, we got a few things to wrap things up today. Hey, let us know in the comments, how was that, what Pete brought back in the house? I've never heard him say this content before. It's really quite incredible. I've never heard those 16 in 4 years of working with Pete. So I hope you guys had value about it. I had value even listening to this, and I've been listening to his content for a long time. So listen, guys, here's a few quick announcements before I let you guys go. As always, we've got some prizes to give out. So here we go. All right, so day 2, early action takers. So these are some people that took action already for the story contest that's happening from yesterday all the way until this Friday at 11:59 Pacific Standard Time. That is the time that you have to submit your 2-minute video. And these 3 folks were early action takers, and we loved their videos. So Sarah Louise, Dr. Danny, Laura, hope you guys will do well with this Sales and Marketing Intensive. This is a 1-day event where we go deep on developing a sales and marketing strategy. This is something that our $20,000 clients have exclusive access to most year round, but we're giving that to you guys for free because of how you showed up in the Facebook group. So once again, if you hear your name called on one of these lives, make sure to go to messagechallenge.com/I1 and continue to post your homework for a chance to win one of these prizes. So for tomorrow, like Pete just said, go live or post a video with a commitment of what your first or next product is going to be, what the price of that product is going to be, and how many customers is your goal for 2021. So product, price, and how many folks you want to impact. Use the hashtag YourMessageDay3. YourMessageDay3. We're going to choose 5 winners to win the How to Build Your Course in 7 Days. It's a miniature course that does a quick deep dive into how to get a course if that's one of the products that you guys are going to be committed to. So 5 folks are going to win that course. Miranda, I'm going to go ahead and make this call out. We're going to have 20 other backup folks that are going to win t-shirts. So we're going to have 25 total winners tomorrow. It's practically a pretty good chance that you might win at least a t-shirt, if not a miniature course. So make sure to do today's homework. And there's still time, once again, for the story contest. So remember, you have until Friday, like I said, 11:59 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Friday to post your 2-minute video, just 2 minutes, go live or post a video, upload it to the Facebook group, and use the hashtag #YourMessageDay2, YourMessageDay2, because that's when we release that contest. And always make sure to download your workbook if you haven't already, messagechallenge.com/workbook. All right, guys, that's it from me. I'll see you guys tomorrow at the Ask Me Anything. I will be hosting it as the Director of Product Development. I know a thing or two about making products, so I hope to have a lot of questions answered tomorrow. We'll see you, Facebook, tomorrow. Backstage, we'll be
Turn me on. Jed, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hey, everybody, you're not going to want to miss the Ask Jed Anything, because Jed is the one that creates all of our products and services. That is his department. So I'm going to have him share backstage. Backstage is going to get a little bit of more insight from the guy who develops all of our products. He is part of this journey. So if you have questions for him and you're not backstage, make sure you have joined the Ask Jed Anything tomorrow. I think that's kind of cool, because he is the one that actually designs our products. So cool. So make sure you're there. And Jed, that's all I wanted to say. Get your stories in and get day 3 homework in as well.